We have been looking at matrices for a long time now. I think now we are going to be using them in very important topics. So to use them, we need their inverses, and to find their inverses, one of the important parameter is their determinant. Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to be taking a look at the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. Please stay here so that you grab a concept on how to find a determinant of a 3 matrix, a direct way and a quick way. I believe now you know what is a determinant. If you don't, please go and check a video on 2 by 2 matrix determinant where I explained what is a determinant. Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to finding a determinant of a 3 by 3. And now let me show you how do we find it using this matrix A. Okay, so let's have a matrix A which has the elements A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Okay, so I'm going to be using this to illustrate, and I'm going to do an example with the numbers. Okay, so the first thing you have to remember is you are going to be creating small matrices. Okay, small 2 by 2 matrices from this matrix. Okay, so you choose the row you want to use. You either choose the first row, the second row, and third row. Okay, so I'm going to show you what do you do after that. Okay, so the first thing is you're going to write get A. Let's write determinant of A. Okay, so the first thing is you're going to write, let's say you choose the row 1. Okay, so you choose the row 1, you're going to be saying A. Okay, then you are going to create another matrix here. Okay, so you're going to close the row of A. You're going to close the row of A like this, then close the column of A. Okay, then you write the remaining letters. Okay, so in this case we have E and F. Okay, so you're going to write E, F, H, I. Okay, then you say minus. Okay, here, then you write B. Okay, okay, then you close the row of B and you close the column of B. Okay, then in this case you're going to be left with D, F, G, and I. Okay, so you're going to write a matrix where we have D, F, G, and I. Okay, then next you are going to say plus C. Okay, C is the last letter. Okay, then after writing C, you're going to close at the row of C and the column of C. Okay, so in this case, you're going to be left with the DE and the GH. Okay, okay, so this is the first thing you have to do. And after that, what you're going to do is you're just going to find the determinant of this as 2 by 2 matrix, then you multiply it with A. Okay, so in this case, you're going to have A, and you're going to have EI minus HF. Okay, then you're going to have minus B, and in this case, you're going to get DI minus GF. Then in this case, you're going to get plus C. Then you're going to get DH minus GE. Okay, so this is how we do it. Okay, after solving this, you can simply find the determinant of A. Okay, so if you choose the second one, in this case, you see that here this was positive, this was negative, and this was positive. Okay, so let's write down the first row positive, negative, positive. Okay, then in the next, if you choose the second one, you are going to alter this so it becomes negative, positive, negative. This means that you are going to be taking minus D first here, then close the column and the row, then take the remaining letters. And in the last one, you are going to say plus, minus, plus. Okay, so please make sure you remember this. When you take which row. Okay, so the easiest step is for every matrix, just take the first one. It's very easy. And in other ways, you can choose the another way, but make sure you remember that in this case, you're going to say minus at the first, plus at the middle, and minus at the last one. Okay, so this is it on the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. Now let's do it on an example. So let's say we have a matrix B here. Our matrix B, it has elements. I'm going to say 1, 2, 1, minus 1, 3, 0, and I'm going to say 4, 2, 2. Okay, so this is our matrix. Okay, so we're going to be finding the determinant of this matrix. Okay, so please pay attention. Okay, so to find the determinant of B, I'm going to choose the first row. Okay, it is very easy to just choose the first row every time. You won't make mistakes. Okay, but if you can choose the second row. It's very easy because it is a 0 here. But please try all the rows and see if you can get the answer. And after that, you can know that you have really understood. Okay, so now let's start with the first one. Okay, so the first one, you are going to write this number here. You're going to choose this row, right? So you're going to first write this number here. So it becomes 1. Okay, then you close this row and close this column. Okay, so this means that you're going to get 3, 0, 2, 2. Okay, then you're going to say minus and write this number, which is 2. Then you're going to write the remaining numbers. Okay, so in this case, you're going to close this first row and close this column. Okay, so you're going to be left with a matrix with minus 1, 4, 0, 2. Okay, then after that, you're going to say plus 1. Okay, then after that, you're going to say we're going to close this first row and this last column. Okay, so in this case, you're going to be left with minus 1, 3, 4, and 2. Okay, so this is it. Now our duty is just to find the determinant of these 2 by 2 matrices and multiply them with this one. Okay, so in this case, you're going to say 1. Then you're going to say 3 times 2, you're going to get 6, and minus, in this case, 2 times 0, it becomes 0. Then minus 2. Okay, then in this case, you're going to say minus 1 times minus 1 times 2, we're going to get minus 2. Then 4 times 0, we're going to get 0. Okay, then plus 1. In this case, we're going to get minus 1 times 2, we're going to get minus 2. Then minus 4 times 3, we're going to get minus 12. Okay, we're going to get 12. Okay, so this means that our answer becomes like this. Okay, so simplifying this, you're going to get our answer is, in this case, you're going to get 6 minus, and in this case, you're going to get our answer is plus 4. And here, we're going to get our answer is minus 14. Okay, so this means that 6 plus 4 minus 14. Okay, so this means that we're going to get our matrix as the determinant of B is equals to, in this case, we're going to get our determinant as minus 4. Okay, so this is how we find a determinant. Okay, so as easy as this, we have found a determinant of a matrix. This is the steps. Okay, so please try with starting with this row and with this row and see if you can get the same answer. Again, before we close in, let's talk about a singular and non-singular matrix. Okay, so I told you that a singular matrix is a matrix where the determinant is equals to 0. Okay, so this matrix, you can say that it has no inverse. Okay, so you cannot find an inverse of a matrix where the determinant is 0. Okay, then a non-singular matrix is the opposite. The determinant is not equal to 0, and you can say that it has an inverse. Okay, so this is it on the matrices. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you check on the next video where we're going to look at how do we find an inverse of a matrix.